You're okay to start whenever you're ready.
Welcome, everyone. We will reconvene the meeting. Meeting was called to order at 5 p.m. and we've spent the last hour in closed session. So we're coming back into open session to complete the agenda. Excuse me. So the first item that we'll be dealing with is reporting out writing report from closed session. Before we do that, I will just mention that I did declare a conflict of interest during the closed session on one item. It was due to my employment and the Ministry of Transportation. And I took part in all the other discussions, but to be able to bring it out in a full, I would just turn it to the deputy mayor and ask him if he could report out.
Your worship, I can report out to the public that council approved the minutes of the August 13th closed session. In addition, council received a report from staff providing further direction to staff with respect to the ongoing operations of the Anthem Ferry Service.
Thank you. So following the agenda, there's no presentation for statutory meetings, so the next item is open forum. During open forum, any person may address council on the matter that is listed on the agenda, except items that will be subject to a statutory public meeting on the same agenda. Anyone wishing to speak at a council meeting can register in advance, or can use during the will be called to be able to speak during the meeting in chambers and to use raise hand feature in Zoom when called upon by the chair. Each person will have 3 minutes to address the council. Did we have any pre-registered? Let's see.
Through you, your worship, we don't have anyone pre-registered to speak.
So no one pre-registered, so I'll just open it in chambers. If there's someone here this evening who wishes to speak with council on an item that's on the agenda, then please let me know and we can come forward and speak. Over.
We just ask everyone to speak up.
Okay.
Sorry.
Us up here too with the mic.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
You got the mic on, so welcome to city. If you can just provide your name and address and look here.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Joyce Silver. My address is 385 Main Street, Bath. My item isn't on the agenda tonight, but I'd like to bring it forward to the council. Haven't been around here lately. I thought you all were doing a good job, but over the last couple of weeks, something's happened. And I wanted to bring it to your attention as it's just very hard to deal with. A week ago on
Sorry, Joy.
yeah.
Can you just tell us what the topic is?
Okay, minor variance, the application that's going through for a property that's adjoining to mine. When I was told my whole life when I bought it for 32 years, it was floodland, and it's been changed overnight. So I have very little time to,
Go, and we don't deal with the planning act here this evening.
but
It goes through the committee. It'll go through the committee.
which I understand, but it is up to the township to decide how many days this is applied to. They're saying provincial law, they only need 10 days to have this application go through.
Okay,
That's good.
well, technically, no, because it's not on the, there's two things that don't meet the Shaker bylaw. One is it's not on the agenda, and the other is that it deals with the planning. So has this already been dealt with at the committee then?
No, I haven't got there yet. It's just all happened overnight, and I don't have much time to get everything ready for the meeting, because the township says it's only 20 days. But by the time this is all passed, it'll be like 14 days or less.
So the best thing is, have you been talking to staff then? Because if it hasn't come to the committee yet, and I'm not 100% sure the next date of the meeting.
October the 7th,
Okay, so between now and then, they'll be developing the reports to come in.
I have talked to the staff.
Okay.
They don't have all the reports in yet from the Cataraqui Conservation. I was there today to meet with them.
So if you raise your concerns with them, it can come to the committee right in the agenda, right on the package. So that all the committee is aware of it before they make any decisions. Unfortunately, if you raised it tonight, there's really nothing we can do because it has to go to the committee.
All right, but even after this is over, I think the township should look at changing it from 20-day notice, which if I was away on holidays, I would come back and attack your. You wouldn't even have a chance. We, as a township, get to make our own bylaws, how long we take to.
And okay, Joy,
Yeah.
I understand you've got some concerns and you and I, we've worked with together before. Would it be okay if we had a discussion and make sure I understand all of your concern? And if we presented them to staff too, then we can have a discussion with staff on it. What you're talking about is changing the bylaw, which would require staff to bring it back to council, so it couldn't be changed tonight.
No.
So would that be?
Yes.
I'd like to keep the meeting in order and keep it moving while receiving your input.
I'm just bringing it to your attention, it's mine as a resident, and a business owner for 23 years. Concerns in our village that things are happening too quick. Even when I was there today, they said it's happening too quick. So we gotta slow this down, guys, because most of us businesses, residents, won't have a say in anything soon.
Okay, and I want to get your information, and if you're talking to staff, please feel free to share those concerns with the timelines as well. And after the meeting, if it's okay with you, maybe we could have a chat so that I can understand fully what your concerns are. And either do it tonight or we can get together, okay?
I appreciate
That way I
that.
can stay in order and everything's good.
That's fine. Thank you.
Thank you, Joy. Thanks for understanding. Is there anyone else in chambers that wishes to speak tonight on an item on the agenda? Seeing none, I'll go to the virtual audience. If there's anyone in the virtual audience that wishes to speak tonight, in open forum, please use the raise hand feature and we can bring them in. Seeing none, that concludes the open forum portion. There's no delegations, and we move to the fall strategic plan. And CIO has joined us virtually. Welcome, Ms. Murphy. Do you have any information to share on this item this evening?
No new information for council. Can you hear me okay? I apologize for not being there in person, but COVID lingers with us all.
We can hear.
I have nothing else to add to the report, just if there's any questions.
Okay, thank you. So there's a recommendation with the report. If we can get a motion on the recommendation, then we can have a discussion. Deputy Mayor?
I move that the report from the Chief Administrative Officer dated September 24th, 2024, Green Fall Strategic Plan update be received, and the council advise staff of any change in priorities for the remainder of the term.
Move, seconded by Councilor Crowder. Deputy, any comments? Mover, seconder, any comments? Any other questions or comments? Councilor Booth.
Thank you. Just a comment more than anything. I like the way things are progressing, but if we could put a little bit more of a priority on priority 3 for balanced growth. It talks about our housing shortages as well as possibility of developing more of a commercial industrial business plan. It's 2 areas that we could work on. I know we're doing a great job on the heritage side of things, so I mean, that's in there, that's a good thing, but the other two portions of that priority, I just think need a little more attention.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Councillor Willis?
I just want to congratulate staff on the progress that's been made. It was a very ambitious strategic plan that we put together. And we've had a very busy year with some major projects happening, so the work that's been done today is remarkable.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? I would echo Councillor Willis. It's nice to see that some of them are green. They're already complete, a lot of ongoing. There's very few that have not, that are still to start, and typically the dates are set for them, so that's good. And I'm sure the CAO received your comments, Councillor Ludwig, so that can be looked at as well. So back to the mover for final comments. Seeing none, call the question. All in favor? Motion is passed. Thank you. And I did miss one item at the very beginning. I just wanted to note that Council Parks, she sent her regrets in this evening. She was unable to attend. Just wanted to make that. No. Next item, Kingston Humane Society Town Services Agreement. Staff members coming forward. Oh. Is there any additional information that you wish to share at this time?
For your worship, there's no additional information at this time.
Good. With that then, council, we have a report of reports. Would someone like to make a motion? Councilor Crowe.
I would move that the World Clerk Division dated September 24, 2024, read Kingston Humane Society and Town Service Agreement we received. And the council authorized the mayor and the chief administrative officer to execute the town service agreement with the Humane Society with a term from January 1, 2025 to December 31st, 2029 that is satisfactory to the CAO and that staff be directed to increase the public awareness about the services provided by the Kingston Humane Society through various communication platforms.
So moved. Do we have a seconder? Councilor Willis. Mover, any comments?
I would just add that it's another service that we cannot provide on our own, and with the community groups, I think it's a win-win for everybody.
You, seconder, any comments?
There was a section in the report talking about cats and the possibility of cat licensing. And one of the recommendations was that the municipality consider offering a voucher for spay or neuter procedures at local vets to reduce feral cat population in the township. Is that something that staff could look at and bring something back to council on what that kind of program would look like? I don't think we need to decide it tonight, but it is a problem that I hear about from residents.
Is there any response to that, or?
Through the mayor, yes, we can certainly look at that and bring something back.
Yeah, I'd like to make a friendly amendment if I may.
Please proceed.
To add to the motion that staff be directed to consider municipal support of spray and neuter programs and deliver with village practices.
Mover. Consider friendly, seconder. Second the amendment. Very good. So it gets considered friendly, so that will be included with the motion. Any other comments, Debbie?
Just that I support the amendment. I don't think it's any secret that the feral cat population is an environmental disaster. Particularly for avian life and all kinds of other biological beings. So no, I think that's a good idea.
Thank you. And Councilor Ennis.
The mayor to support the physical and service. I do support the amendment as well. It's a growing concern, I think. What we can do.
Any other comments? Back to the mover for final comment on this entire. No comment? With that, all the question, all in favor, motion is passed. Next item, low volume bulk water. Oh, Becker? Is there any additional information you need with this time?
No, your worship, just, here to answer questions.
You? With that, council? We have a report, is there a member that wishes to make a motion to see? Councilor.
There, move that the report from the Utilities Commission September 2024, regarding low volume bulk water station to receive, and to the council approves the classification of this new station as a bulk water hauler, and that applicable rate be charged to station users as per file 2023-082, the water and sewage user rates and service charge file as amended.
So moved. Do we have a second? Deputy Mayor Town. Mover, any comments? Seconder? Other members? Councilor Cross.
For you, just a question to the director. So, right now, the water that's being supplied here, I guess, there was no tracking and that service.
So through your worship, no, the plumbing did not allow us to really track. Yes, it was offered, at no charge. But if that hasn't been open in a few years, it was only to be used in a drought condition declaration.
Okay, thank you. Just one more follow-up. To a resident that would use this service, what would, the comparison maybe to somebody who just could turn on their tap, like cost-wise, is it the same as water that might run through my tap, or is it a little different in terms of?
Good question, so through your worship, so great question, it is at a discounted rate. The last time that the rates were looked at, in 2019, we knew that the bulk water hauler rate was at about 77% of, the rates for the users in the system. Typically, like, so you wouldn't have necessarily 100% of the distribution cost when you're using the water hauler station. So it made sense to have a discounted rate for that type of use.
And compared to the large, like the Clark's water, the big tankers, is it going to be similar price, or is it going to be less for our residents in terms of compared to like the big bulk users?
So to your worship, so it is the same price. So in our water and sewer use bylaw, the classification on their bulk water hauler, it does not matter if it's the larger, like the Clark's water, or if it's the low volume water hauler. What we've noticed here in the second or third year that we've offered a tap outside is we can't really control where the residents are coming from. At some point, there's even things on social media that, advertise free water at the Odessa office, so people from all over the place were picking up water. Same with landscaping companies. So I would imagine that for the low volume water station, you're gonna have the smaller tanker, like the 1 cubic meter totes that you have in the back of the pickup truck. They will be using a smaller station, so it's primarily for the residents, but you can control where people are coming from, and you're gonna have some commercial use.
Thank you. Excuse me. Any other comments or questions from council? Back to the mover for final.
Mayor, not just that, I think it's an important service to offer, and is to the township.
That, I will call the question. All in favor? Motion is passed. And that is Amherst Island Recreation Association Service Agreement. Come forward. Welcome. Do you have any additional information to share? So with that, we have the report before us. I'd like to put a motion on the floor so that we can. Counselor
I move that the report from the Recreation and Facilities Division dated September 24th, 2024, the Amherst Island Recreation Association Service Agreement be received. The council authorized the mayor and chief administrative officer to enter into a service agreement with the Amherst Island Recreation Association to provide recreation programming on Amherst Island. That the 2024 $5,000 annual operating fee to the Amherst Island Recreation Association under the proposed service agreement be paid in full, funded from the 2024 approved operating budget for the Amherst Island Recreation Committee, and that staff be directed to incorporate the $5,000 annual operating fee as outlined in the agreement into future township operating budgets. And if I get a second here, I'll explain it again.
Thank you. So moved, you would have a seconder. Counselor Clark. Mover,
Yes, first of all, I would like to thank staff for all of the work that has brought us to this point, and it has been about 6 years of discussions with the former Amherst Island Recreation Committee and now the new association. And a lot of it hinged on the previous council decision that supported reclaiming the Amherst Island Community Center and the use of it. So much work has been done, and again, in a year where this department has been very busy. I also want to acknowledge past and current volunteers who are running the recreation activities on the island. The report suggests that the $5,000 2024 fee be prorated, so they would essentially be getting 4 months worth of it. The concern I have with that is because there were so many moving parts to getting these agreements together, it took longer than we expected, and the group's ability to fundraise during that time was curtailed because there was no event space for them. However, they've incurred costs, assuming that what will be coming in this year is the $5,000. It was the budgeted amount, so I'm asking council to consider the full $5,000.
thank you. Seconder, any comments at this time?
I'm just trying to take in the council there. No, my comment will be simply that anytime a community group nonprofit wants to provide services that, to be honest, we would struggle to provide the staffing, and given that it's on the island, that we should support that as best we can, and I'll leave it at that.
Thank you. Other members of the council, any comments, questions? Seeing none, I just have a quick question. Typically in get a lot of agreements to terminal agreements with early termination and for extending. When it's extended, there's a clause, something about mutually agreed upon by both parties or something like that. I didn't notice that in here. So in that case, with just the terms, early termination come in where either side could terminate it within 120 days notification at any time, which could be 120 days before December 31st. Okay. So both sides do have the little safety net if they need. That's good. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, so back to the mover for final question, the final comment. None? Call a question. All in favor? Motion is passed. Producer responsibility organization for this Township is Fox. More staff. Is there any additional information you wish to share at this time?
Mr. Mayor, there's a typo. There's a typo on recommendation number 2. No, I'm speaking too early. That's what I'm doing.
Okay. Yes.
Through you, your worship, there is a slight change in recommendation that I would like to suggest to council. And this is related to, because 11.5 and 11.6 are related items. And ultimately, under 11.6, staff are going to be recommending that you reconsider your original motion from February 27, 2024. Under 11.5, there's a reference to that same motion. I would recommend that we remove that reference from the motion before you vote on it, because ultimately you are going to be reconsidering that motion under 11.6. And I can pull it up on my screen.
Yes. With that, everyone had an opportunity to read it? Okay, so with that with the new recommendation, I would look for a motion. Deputy Mayor?
So we move that the report from the Public Works Division dated September 24th, 2024, re retaining a producer responsibility organization for Loyalist Township City's blue box material be received. And the council direct the mayor and CAO to enter into an
Yes.
agreement with the producer responsibility organization to meet its blue box management targets under the regulations of the reporting years 2020-2021. And 3, that council for the, correct that, reporting for the years 2021 and 2022. And the council directs staff to negotiate further agreements with a producer responsibility organization for a preferred rate for the collection, management, and reporting of 2023, 2024, and 2025 producer management targets.
So moved. Seconded by Councilor Woodward. Mover, any comments, questions, seconder? Any other members? Seeing none, call the question. All in favor? Motion has passed. 6. Decided landfill options for operating as blue box collection. And staff here, I ask again, is there any additional information?
There, no other information.
Good. And, we just confirming with the clerk, so we would take care of recommendation number 1, and if it passes, then we would move to the next 1, 2, and 3. Right?
Yes, exactly.
So, number 1, do I have a mover that wishes to make that? Councilor Willis?
I move that council reconsider resolution 2024-51 passed on March 12th, 2024.
So move. Do we have a second? Deputy Mayor Towns. Hoover, any comments? Seconder, any others? Call the question, all in favor? Motion is passed. So that brings us down to the next three items. Is there a member that wishes to make a motion, put a motion on the floor? Councilor Clark.
I would move that the report from the Public Works Division dated September 24th, 2024, reading Amherst landfill option. Amherst landfill options for operating as a movable box collection depot be received. And the council authorized the mayor and chief administrative officer to enter into an agreement with Circular Materials Ontario to opt in and have Loyalist Township provide depot operations for blue box collection at the Amherst landfill. And that Loyalist Township continues to opt out of providing contracted collection services for blue box materials on the mainland.
So move. Do we have a second? Councilor. Mover, any comments?
Comments, sir?
Seconder, any comments? Anyone else in the council? Seeing none, call the question, all in favor? Motion is passed. Thank you. There's one committee of the whole. Votes to motion. Are there any members that wish to present a motion? None. Are there any members who wish to present a direct motion? None. We're down to the consent agenda, where items are lumped together that are routine in nature and actually will be dealt with individually, but we put them all in one motion. Unless the member wishes to request. So the one that wishes to request.
Item 14, vote please.
Needs one. Any other items? Wish to extract and see. Seeing none. Could I have a motion? To deal with this meeting. Seconded by? That's right. Any questions, comments from the mover? Seconder on anything? Anyone else? Anyone? All in favor? Motion is passed. Dr. Wells? Bring forward the extracted.
Yes, thank you. The extracted item is correspondence from the Cataraqui Conservation Authority related to the full service tree planting program. And we are losing a large number of trees in the township. And I just wanted to call this out to build awareness and perhaps encourage staff to our social media channels to make residents aware that there is this program that allows them to replace trees on their property. It's a fairly dense planting of trees. It's not just for one tree in your front yard, but would encourage people to go to the Conservation Authority website to learn more about that.
Taken. But also on the website, any media that we have. Thank you for raising that. Would you like to make a motion, if you're looking to receive it then?
I move to receive and ask staff to include it in communications where appropriate.
Thank you. So moved. Seconded by Councilor Booth. Did you wish to speak to it again? You covered it. Seconder, any other members? Yes, Councilor Pratt.
I could just add that serving as vice chair of the committee with Cataraqui Conservation is one of the top, tree planters in Ontario, and even that Conservation Ontario yesterday in this program was mentioned as Cataraqui being one of the leaders in the province.
Thank you. Any other comments? I'll just mention, I do know a few farmers that have had some fields where they're not productive, and but they do utilize this where it makes the land useful, and they can actively farmland, and so that's a great spot for it to anyone that has the acreage. With that, I'll call the question, all in favor? Motion is passed. That completes item announcements. Any announcements this evening? Wonderful.
I would just like to congratulate the Legion of Bath on their reopening. It's been very successful. Happy birthday, I guess, the Odessa Lions Club are celebrating their 50th. And thank the staff and everybody involved with getting the rink reopened on the weekend. Little few touch-ups to be done, but I can assure you the ice is the same because my body hurts the next day just as well.
Thank you. Any other announcements to say? I do, sorry, Councilor Wells.
Just like to congratulate Jim and Sandra Reed and the countless volunteers that support them. They hosted once again the Harvest Festival on Amherst Island. It was very well attended, a beautiful sunny day, and really nice to see the community out and enjoying it. They do a tremendous amount of work for it, and I just wanted to recognize that.
Thank you. Any other items? I have nothing new. I just wanted to reiterate 50th anniversary of the Odessa and District Lions Club. I held an event in the Palace. It was well attended. There were members of a number of districts that attended to congratulate them. I was fortunate enough to be there and take part in it. And when you think back, we think we know most of what they do, but when you realize they do so much more, and they've been doing it for 50 years, it is a true accomplishment and such a benefit to the municipality. We have 3 Lions clubs within the municipality, and they're all doing great work in their own area. And so if we to celebrate with them on the 50th, that was really that was a really good year. And the Harvest Fest was amazing again. The weather was perfect. It was hot, actually. And of course, the deputy, he was a little extra warm. He made sure we were all fed, running the grill. And but it was a great event and some funds were raised for some very good that organization as well. So if there's nothing else, motion to adjourn.
Oh,
Sorry.
confirmatory.
Confirmatory bylaw. I'm moving right ahead now. Confirmatory bylaw. So we have a motion. Councilor Project, seconded by Councilor Evans. All in favor? And now we can do, we're gonna have a motion to adjourn. Councilor Willis and Councilor Woodward. All in favor? Motion. We are.